wind up in the pitch. That ball's hit well. Back deep to center field. There it is, and there it goes. Home run by Shaquille.
Here's the pitch. Here it goes. There's strike three. That's a complete game for Kinsey Hilzer.
Tyrell Carroll, step back three. Wet. He puts it in, and that is the dagger.
And there's another three for Katrina Roenfeld. Just like she usually does, the Griffins are on top.
There's the bump, ball's in the air, and Allie Talkin lays down the thunder with that kill.
There's the handoff. Through the hole he goes. A huge stiff arm, and Shamar Griffith scores a touchdown for Missouri Western.
Carolina Strom rides the line and gets the score in the break.
And there we go, another Missouri Western record shattered by track star Hannah Williams.
Shoots her shot. Goal!
Brett Howard and Derek Zimmerman-Guyer proudly present to you the Western Windup.
Well, it is about time, Brett.
Yep, here we are again on our own, recording the Western Windup.
Wow, it felt like a really long summer, at least for me. What about you?
About the same, yeah.
The month of July really dragged on when we really started making the Twitter account for this and whatnot, but
yeah.
Welcome to season 2, technically,
yep,
season
roughly.
2 of the Western Windup.
Here we are back. We're here to talk about some Missouri Western sports. Here to talk about a little bit of Royals, a little bit of Chiefs,
Yeah, we'll give a little recap of what's going on. I'm Derek, this is Brett.
Hello, I am Brett.
We are both senior journalism majors here at Missouri Western State University, and oh my goodness, we cannot wait to get started.
Yes, we can.
So, like we just said, we'll give a little quick Midwestern wind-up recap.
There we go. That's good. I like it.
About what's going on in the world of just Midwest sports in general, Royals, Chiefs. So the Royals just got done with their series down in Cleveland. It was funny, they actually went to New York for a 12-minute game,
yep,
where the ghost of Chris Owings haunted us once again and scored the winning run in a walk-off.
We don't talk about that.
We don't have to. But hey, Ryan O'Hearn went deep with wearing the nice all white unis, looking
yep,
really spiffy there.
Had a 2-home run game, scored in the 10th inning, gave us the win. That's my
right.
boy there.
Yep. Jorge Soler went deep as well. He's got 36. He's getting ever so close against that prestigious club record that Mike Moustakas set just a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
So wow,
We're no longer last in our division.
Yeah, the Tigers are taking that. The Tigers officially eliminated from playoff contention mathematically, so that's take that, Detroit.
I think with the beginning of the year that they had, this is nice.
We
weren't the first team eliminated.
They're just kind of beating up on all the other worst teams there around. But as for the Chiefs, they just got done with their game against the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick recap of things that matter really is the first team. I thought the first team offense looked pretty darn sharp. I think if it wasn't for that Patrick Mahomes spin out and run, he would have stayed in. They probably would have gone for on 4th down and 1, 4th down and 2. Probably something sneaky, something like that they usually do. But since it's preseason, Andy doesn't want to see Pat get hurt. Pat's crazy, running around like he always does.
Yep.
So take him out, smart move. Chiefs offense looked good. Chiefs defense I thought looked decent as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that worried me, and it's just our depth. Our second stringers didn't look as sharp against the other second stringers, and I think that shows that if we get someone like Tyreek out of the game, if he's injured for the game, or if Travis gets thrown out of the game again for throwing his towel, then that could be a big hurt for our offense. But I do have to agree. I think our first team offense and defense looked pretty good in the games that they played. Obviously, we upgraded our defense in the offseason, upgraded our offense with the addition of Mecole Hardman and Thompson. Our offensive line didn't get any worse. So
yeah, it's always solid. It doesn't really matter. 27-17 was the final in favor of those 49ers, or as Kent Swanson from Arrowhead Pride always likes to say, the 33ers. I love that. Take that, San Francisco.
Yeah, nerds.
Yeah. Anyway, Chiefs, they got one more preseason game, and then everything matters after that. Can't wait for Jacksonville. But we will get into what is coming up sooner than that, and that is Missouri Western. And nothing's going on this week. Welcome back to campus, Griffs. We're all back pretty much. Me and Brett moved in just about a week ago.
Yep.
And we are looking forward to getting started. So what our format will be, we'll have like a 5-second kind of format. And what we'll go through is the recap of like everything going on with Midwestern and what's going on from Missouri Western in general.
Very normal stuff there.
We'll have some player of the weeks type of deals. People will keep our eyes on. We'll have a team of the week. And we'll have something like interesting stat/storyline or just story in general of the week. And then we'll have some predictions, some takes to end and close out the show.
Yeah.
And if you also would like to reach out on Twitter to us at Western Windup and give us some questions that you want us to field at the end of the show as well, just hit us up at Western Windup. And me and Brett's personal accounts are linked in the bio on there as well. So if you got some stuff for us, let us have it. We love the interaction. Thank you so much for making this summer so fun to just interact with all you guys on Twitter. It made it that much better to have that kind of feedback, right?
Yeah, and having all those people there, following us, it made us feel like people actually wanted this. This is the thing that we want to do, but obviously we're not going to do it unless there are people who are going to listen to it. And I think this summer proved that there are people who want to listen to this. There are people who want this just as bad as we do. And we appreciate all the support we've gotten so far in the summer and the continuing support we're going to get this semester, I presume. I hope that it's not too big for me to assume that we will get more people listening to us.
Oh, we'll keep going and going. I think right now at Twitter we're at 161 followers. So that is... To start that in late July, that's huge. And it's not a competition or anything, but that other sports podcast from that other MIAA school just down the highway, just down 36.
Losing their name.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I don't want to banter about it.
Yeah.
But they don't have as many followers as us, and they started last semester too. So not just to toot our horns, but once again, this is Derek Zimmerman-Guyer and Brett Howery, senior journalism majors. Brett is a sports editor for the Griffin News.
Yep.
I am a reporter, sports reporter / clerk. Don't like saying the clerk part that much. For News Press Now, I also get to call high school football with Dave Rigger on 107.5 as the color commentator for high school football in the area in general, St. Joe. And me and Brett, we just have a lot of journalism experience between us in these last 4 years, in our fourth year now at Missouri Western. And this is not a school project. This is not an assigned project. Nope. This isn't anything we were told to do, even though we started it when we were both associated with the Griffin News as a Griffin News podcast last semester. This is our thing.
This is our thing. It's not a branded thing. It's not a sponsored thing. This is not something that we are doing to satisfy any sort of academic need. This is something that we wanted to do because we love talking sports.
Yes.
And honestly, there's not a lot of stuff talking about Missouri Western sports. There's the Go Griffins account. Yeah. And there's Ryan Menley's videos. But other
Brandon Zinner is starting up his week. I forget the name. I'm sorry. I work for Brandon. His weekly sports show. He's starting that back up, season 2. He did a really good job of it last year or last couple of months, coming back. And
but, the thing with all those is that they're kind of branded, and you kind of always expect positive things. And there's the thing with us. We love Missouri Western sports, but we're not only going to talk about the positives. There are bad things in sports. There are goods and there are bads, and we're going to hit on both of them.
We're going to hit all of it. And
if you do really good, we're going to point you out. But if you have a down game, we're going to point you out. And I think that's one thing you're going to get from us. You're going to get that authenticity of listening to fans talk about sports.
So we're going to be fair because you guys are the athletes. We are the analysts. We are the journalists.
Yes.
I have a little collegiate wrestling experience, so I know what it takes to be a college athlete. But I'm not going to act like I know what you're going through all the time. I know what it takes, for athletes to keep it up. But our lives are very different, so we're not going to criticize you terribly.
Yes.
And we hope you guys don't criticize our talking or whatever.
Yeah, don't add us a...
Hey, I've interviewed enough college athletes to know not everyone is meant for talking. And that's not a shot at everybody, but...
Well, let's look at this. So, we are coming off of some fall sports. So we're going to talk about our fall sports. Obviously, the last thing that happened was spring sports, but we're in the fall right now. Yeah. Fall sports are relevant. We're going to talk about last fall.
Boom.
And last fall, obviously, the big story was football, going to a bowl game, getting the bowl win. I was there. I was filming that game. That was a fun game to film, a fun bus ride back to Missouri Western after that game. And I think it obviously went 4-7 in 2017, going 4-7, going 7-5, going to a bowl game. This is now Willie's third year.
Right.
To see what we'll expect, we'll get there.
It's very cool to see the progression because Coach Partridge was here for so long.
Yeah.
And to have such a sudden shift from a different coach out of nowhere, like that turnover, it was interesting to see. And Missouri Western looks very, very different. We've had some players leave, we've had coaches leave, and now this Griffin team in 2019, I'm very intrigued to see what it's going to look like because I think Missouri Western's identity, especially on offense, has been running the ball, and I think it will very much still be because they got great stars, so like Shamar Griffith, who will carry the load. But he, there was some unfortunate, or not unfortunate, just for the team in general. James Bailey Jr. did lead the team on his own will. He had some other things that he wanted to do, and that's okay to him. Best of luck to him in his life and whatever he wants to do. So, but that does take away a lot of stats and a lot of production. So what Missouri Western had to do was go out and get some running backs, and oh my goodness, did they ever so do that? So that's segue right into players of the week, players to look out for, and I think the whole entire running back community
all of it
for Missouri Western football is someone to look out for. I mean, oh my goodness, I want to shout out Jonas Bennett first. He's a freshman running back from Odessa, and oh my gosh, I watched this guy's film. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I really hope as a freshman they give him some playing time, some time to just shine, maybe returning, but he makes one cut. He gets the open field. He's hard to bring down, and he is fast. It's just he's kind of like all in one, and that's like Missouri Western has had a lot of players do that. I mean, James Bailey Jr. last year was a heavy load, especially as a freshman, just bowling everybody. And Shamar is super quick, super fast, going around everybody. So you hit him with all types of skill. Missouri Western does. They are able to attack you in each different way, running the ball, But they went out and got more. They got redshirt freshman Jared Scott. They got Deron Thompson from KU, a graduate student. They got two graduate students this year, which is really big. Markel Smith as well. So just to go get experienced players like that is going to be really big. And for, like I said, going back to Thompson, he graduating from KU, he got to see some action at the D1 level, and he's not too bad. When he gets the ball, he makes it count. He had ran for 32 yards and 4 carries in 1 appearance, and then ran it 3 times for 70 yards. So, like, when he gets his time to shine, he absolutely shines. Shine on, Missouri Western. Hey-yo. I don't know if that works, but shine on.
Yeah, but here's one thing. You talked about people leaving and new faces on the starting roster, and one thing you have to look at is the change of quarterback.
Right.
Wyatt Steigerwald, senior now, he looks like a very impressive quarterback. From what I've seen, he looks poised. He looks ready to step into the starting gig. But there's a difference. Going from Don Moreno, who, as we knew, was a really, really good runner. One of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the MIAA. You could just see his vision in the open field was par to none in terms of at the quarterback position. But that's not the same with Wyatt. I'm sure he could get out of the pocket. He could scramble if he wanted to. But his threat is his arm.
He has a cannon.
Yeah.
He has a bazooka for an arm.
And I think going from a scrambling quarterback like Don Marino to such a pocket passer, it will be a difference for Missouri Western. But here's one thing they got going for them. They trained a lot this summer. It was not a thing that the student athletes had to do. They did not have to train for the summer, but they did. They wanted to, and they had a lot of football players return to train, get better for this upcoming
like the
season.
individual camp at the end of July, like July 27th, late July, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys coming out, all the recruits, 39 recruits. Or 39 recruits, that's right. And it's to break down. That's what we did all July. You guys, of course, if you follow our account, we broke down all the stats and the notes and just the film of all these incoming recruits. And oh my goodness, was it so much fun to do that and just see all that talent that's going to be available to Missouri Western in this coming season. And I just can't wait to see it. And I also got a chance to check out some of Wyatt's stats when he was down at Northeastern Oklahoma State or Northeastern. That's right. And that was back during his sophomore year because he was a junior last year. And last time Wyatt played as a senior, or as a starter, I should say, and he's senior now. Last time Wyatt Steigerwald played full time, he didn't start the first 2 games of the season. at the JUCO level from Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. 32 touchdowns,
Okay.
10 interceptions.
That's
That's a pocket passer. That's pretty good.
And obviously, last year we had Dom, but this year I think we're going to lean on him. I think the Griffins have one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line.
It's been consistent ever since we've been here.
Yeah.
4 years now.
And I think with that protection, with the pass catching out of the backfield, with the receivers that we have, I think this has the potential to be a really, really good offense. And again, you would think it would be a little worse because we lost a couple players, but with that extra training that they were able to put in, I think that just helps build that chemistry, and I think they're really trying to get prepared for Week 1 at Northwest.
And we're just going to segue again. Getting prepared for another season is Griffin soccer.
Yeah.
And another player I'd like to really focus on and look at right now is junior Taylor Schwarzkopf.
Yeah.
And I have practiced saying that.
Schwarzkopf.
Great name, hard to pronounce. But Taylor has been, I think she's been dynamite in her time playing for the Griffins. Her freshman year, she went down with an ACL injury.
Yeah.
And I think she scored something like 9 goals in like 7 games. 7 goals, 9 games, something like that.
Yeah,
and she was
really
awesome.
good.
She was awesome. And now coming into her junior year, last year, she was healthy-ish.
Yeah.
Everything kind of muddles together, injuries coming back. But she was tied for third on the team with 3 goals last year after, getting hurt. So for her to do that and bounce back, it seems like it may look on paper as a lack of production from a year before, but with the teams that Missouri Western Soccer has had in the last couple of years, stacked of girls like women like Cassidy Mankey, and now she's graduated. Now for people to fill up those roles, I think Taylor Schwarzkopf is perfect for that, and she's only a junior.
Yeah.
So that production, I think, is just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, obviously soccer last year had a first round exit in the MIAA tourney, losing to Fort Hays 3-0. I think this will be a good soccer team. I don't think it'll be as good as last year. Obviously, you talked about Cassie Mankey leaving. They have some other people leaving, and I think that will make an impact on the team. But I've covered soccer 2 years now, and if there's one coach who I know can fight through this kind of adversity and bring the best out of the girls that he has on that team, it's Coach Chad Edwards. There is not a lot of coaches on the Missouri Western payroll that I look at and I have more confidence in than Chad Edwards. I think that coach could win a game with quite literally a bunch of dogs out on the field.
Oh my gosh.
Chad Edwards could coach a bunch of dogs to a victory.
There's your next Air Buddies sequel, everybody.
Yeah,
Chad Edwards and Air Buddies
So
against the MIAA.
I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good year. I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year because that's just so much talent that they had on their roster last year. But I do think that this will still be a good year for the soccer team, Missouri Western.
And just teams in general, a team that we need to recap a little bit more and focus on since it's fall now is coming up. Everyone's about to start their seasons is volleyball. And volleyball had a similar exit from their season last fall. They lost to UNK Nebraska Kearney 3-0 in the first round of the MIAA tournament.
Yeah.
Finished the season 15-17. It was just a total backstep from their 25-11 season in 2017 where they won it all in the MIAA. So I think, Brett, you said you thought that volleyball was going to stay rather the same.
Yeah. I think a lot of people look at the 25-11 and think that this was a fluke year, and I think that that's a safe assumption because this is a really good volleyball team. But I don't think that they're going to get back to that 25-11 mark. I don't think they're going to be bad. Don't think that. But I don't think a 16-16. I think that if they're going to get better, it's going to be by 1 or 2 wins. If they're going to get worse, it's going to be by 1 or 2 wins. And I think a lot of people are expecting a big jump forward or a big jump backward this year. I don't think so. I think they will be within 2 wins or losses from the record that they had last year. And I think that soon they could go back to that 25-11, that dominant way. But I think right now they're going to be muddled and they're around 15-17, 16-16.
Well, Coach Carbon was talking about it the other day with Ryan Minley. She was talking about how there's not going to be too many, returning players starting. There's like the players that she has on her roster right now. Only a couple spots are really determined.
Yeah.
Maybe the other ones are have to fight. So like, there's gonna be a lot of young, raw talent there. Some inexperience maybe. So like, I can see it that way. We'll just have to wait and see. It's one of those really unpredictable things. Like these girls could come out, these ladies could come out and just absolutely shock some people based on just how young they are. But nonetheless,
we saw that with Taylor Schwartzkopf.
Right. Yeah, as a freshman coming in for a standout soccer program, and volleyball, Missouri Western volleyball is a standout program in MIAA. They have done well for the last couple of years, especially under Coach Carvin. It's just inexperience. It can always lead to just unsuccess.
Yeah. I got to say, the team I'm personally looking forward to is football. And that's just me. Obviously, I've worked with the football team for the past 2 years, shooting film for them, game film, practice film. So this will be the first time ever since my freshman year, that I've truly been able to watch a football game from the seats, from the stands, as a fan. I'll be able to hold up the Cronkite signs. I think it's a good year for that. I think Dom Marino and that offense was really explosive and really fun to watch. But I think this will be just as explosive, but in a different way, and just as fun to watch, but in a different way. Kind of like Patrick Mahomes on the Chiefs. He has that arm to where you really don't know when a game's going to be broken open.
Right.
And I think Wyatt has that kind of talent in his arm to where, like, you have to watch, because at any point he could do a 80-yard bomb and take the lead.
Well, yeah, Wyatt does have that ability, and the most playing time we got to see of him last fall was against Northeastern State. And Northeastern State, everyone dogs on them. Dogs on the Riverhawks are just being a bad team, really, in MIAA.
Yeah.
But they weren't the worst. That's a compliment. They weren't the worst.
Absolute worst.
They weren't the worst in the conference in MIAA last year in pass defense. In fact, they were 7th, which is like, eh.
Yeah.
It's eh.
Yeah.
It's what we want the Chiefs defense to be now. We just want them to be
So
they can support Patrick.
Yeah.
But they were last year, Northeastern, in their pass defense. So Wyatt, in relief of Dom, because the game was out of hand, because Dom and everyone just,
Dominated.
Oh my gosh, get out! Dom dominated. Dom and the Griffins dominated last year, and Wyatt came in and got some good playing time in. He went 4 for 6, right? 4 for 6, passing for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns with a 74-yard bomb.
Yeah. And here's the thing about that. A lot of people look at that and they see those statistics and they think, okay, so like he's obviously got some easy passes. No, he did not. Again, as the filmer for that team, I was able to watch that game. I was able to look at the film for that game quite literally because I made the film for that game. But those were not easy passes that he made. He made some really tight window passes. He made good, accurate decisions, and again, they do not have a bad pass defense.
Oh.
He made really good decisions, really smart decisions, and slung the ball when he needed to. Those 6 passes that he threw, even the 2 incompletions, were probably the most impressed I've ever been with a backup watching them play football.
Exactly.
Because he was so accurate, so good with his decision making. It was one of those 6 passes that you look at that and you think, this guy could be starting. Just easily. He could be the starter here.
Well, Northeastern, they were 7th out of 12 teams in passing defense, and they were actually better than Missouri Western. Missouri Western was 10th in passing defense. The Griffins gave up 231 passing yards per game, while Northeastern State only gave up 206.5. Now, take that with a grain of salt, but I think Wyatt really showed the potential in that game. And, it's actually very interesting in general, the quarterback position for the Griffins this season, because they have a lot of guys in there that aren't redshirted right now that could potentially start. I think redshirt freshman Anthony Vespo is a really athletic player.
And he's been getting a lot of praise from the coaches over in that department, too.
No, I think they should really somehow incorporate a way to get him on the field in some points of the game. And I'm kind of like going back against myself, because I remember a couple years ago whenever Coach Williamson would kind of send both Dom out for a drive, Evan Corey Bertini or Skylar Windmuller say so. And I know because all those guys had talent. Dom and Corey could run, and Skylar was a good pocket passer who could use his legs from a time or two.
Yeah.
Now with Wyatt, I haven't seen him run too much, but I know Vespo is athletic enough, it looks like, to get the job done if need be with his legs.
Yeah, and he's obviously shown through the air that he can also attack you that way. I think Anthony's a really, really good quarterback. If Wyatt wasn't as impressive last year in the couple times he was able to play, I think Anthony might be the starter. But again, you look at what Wyatt's done, and there's no way you can start anyone over him.
Of course, he's a senior too,
And he's a senior. But
he has the
Vespo
experience.
being a freshman, I think Anthony Vespo is just an intriguing and exciting person to watch through the next couple of years if he does get the start, which I personally assume that he will.
No, he has definitely a lot of room to just develop and whatnot. Redshirt freshman, so he'll get his due. He'll get his time. We'll see what happens. But Brett, we are at the point where we've been making some takes. How who we think will do what, which team will succeed, which will make those steps.
Yep.
Yada yada yada. You know how it goes.
Yada.
So, hot takes.
Okay.
Hot takes, and I kind of been like pretty much saying my hot take the entire time.
Yeah.
So
surprised me.
So, I believe after everything I've said about Wyatt Steigerwald, everything he's done, in his time with JUCO, and his time away from Western, and his limited time last year, I think he is going to shred Northwest defense in week 1.
Okay.
I think he's gonna shred him through the air. And now just put this in perspective. Northwest was fifth in passing defense last year, giving up 202.1 passing yards per game, 14 touchdowns to 14 picks. So they're kind of like in the middle of the pack, they're right by Lindenwood, they're right above Northeastern State.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them to kind of be the same, you know? I think Wyatt has the potential to just take control of that game. And I think that running game with Griffith and just the whole plethora of running backs they got there, I don't know how they plan to use them yet.
Yeah.
But I really think with establishing a little bit of a run game first, and then I think it'll really catch Northwest for off guard. Just start because Northwest has been kind of used to Dom Marino and those last couple of other quarterbacks that they've had, just kind of running around and not passing the ball as much because they have such good running backs.
Yeah.
But watch them come out and just light up the scoreboard. The biggest scoreboard in the MIAA also, by the way. I don't know if anyone else knew that. But
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Steigerwald came out and did that. And to go along with that, I think week 1 with Northwest is going to be a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be points galore out there because I think Missouri Western has just we've had enough. I think the general consensus has been had enough of being compared to Northwest and having everyone just talk down on the rivalry in general because they don't really call it a rivalry anymore outside of Missouri Western because and besides sports like baseball where Missouri Western does pretty much wins every game, also women's basketball and soccer, Northwest kind of has the advantage.
Yeah.
It's been for the last couple of years, and I really do believe the way that Missouri Western has progressed and coming into Coach Williamson's 3rd year and with the players they're bringing in and the recruits they got and the changes at quarterback we're getting, just this offense is going to look different. But different is never bad.
Yeah.
It's never bad at first. So I think we have the potential to see a hell of a first game on September 5th.
And I think I have to piggyback off that. Not for my hot take, mine's gonna be a little bit different.
Okay.
But I want to let you know that it might not be a shootout. Last year, Northwest threw 26 passing touchdowns, which is good for tied for 3rd most in the MIAA. But here's something: Missouri Western had 14 interceptions as a team last year, tied for 2nd in the MIAA. So Northwest obviously loves to pass the ball just as much as any other team in the MIAA does. But you look at those touchdowns that they've thrown, you look at the interceptions that we have, this could be a shootout. This could be a 50-50 game. But we get a couple of ball-hawking corners, ball-hawking safeties. We take away a couple of their touchdowns, we take away a couple of drives with some interceptions. We're looking at a completely different game. So I I raise you. I think this may not be a blowout. I think this may not be maybe a blowout. And the Northwest has got a really good defense. But if we can get those ball hawking corners, that ball hawking secondary, to get some interceptions on them, then it could really work.
I really think with setting the tone from Missouri Western on defense would be stopping the ground game. And Missouri Western's defense last year in the ground game, they only gave up 130.8 yards per game, which, you look at that, you're like, that seems like a lot. You go to the bottom of the list, you see Northeastern State, they give up 300 yards per game.
But Northeastern State was absolutely just abysmal.
Oh, yes.
Look at this. We are looking at a stat right now, a little stat sheet. Missouri Southern last year had 3 passing touchdowns. 3. But I understand. And you look at the rushing defense, and the only team that had better rushing defense was Northwest.
And that's going to be the biggest thing, is because we didn't really get to see that running game get off in week 1 last season. And now we will say that it was just Shamar Griffith and Derek Gray at the time. Mm-hmm. And then Derek Gray's injury came later on in the season, and then enter James Bailey Jr., who had an amazing freshman year. But now things are different.
Yes.
Now things are different. So you're going to have to beat the defense first, the running defense against Northwest, to open up that air attack.
Yeah.
But I think the potential is there. And I'm a big numbers guy, you know me.
Yeah,
and
we both are.
Big numbers for Missouri Western in the air, it just matches up well against Northwest, I think.
I'm going to move a little bit off, and I'm going to let you know my hot take for this year. And you talked about her a little bit earlier. The person you've got your eye on, Taylor Schwarzkopf.
T-Sizzle?
Obviously a very, very good soccer player. Schwarzkopf sounds perfectly fine, so Sizzle doesn't, I don't think Sizzle.
Well, it starts with an S.
Would look as good on the back of a jersey. Schwarzkopf looks pretty cool.
On Players Week, if they have one, they can.
Players Week. I'd love to see Missouri Western Players Week. Anyway, that is not what we're here to talk about. Taylor Schwarzkopf. This year, she will lead the MIAA in goals.
Woo! All right.
That is my hot take. I think she is such a phenomenal athlete, and I think you saw last year with what they did with Cassidy Mankey. You saw when they have a playmaker on the field, they get that playmaker the ball, and I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to get Taylor the ball. They're going to give her a chance to shine, and I think she's going to do it. She is going to lead the MIAA in goals scored. You heard it here first, and I think, and I don't think there will be someone close. I think the number 2 goal scorer in the MIAA will be 2 or 3 goals behind her.
Okay.
Not even
double digits, right?
Double digits easily.
If you wanted to go on more about how you think T-Sizzle is just going to set the MIAA ablaze, which I think is very much a possibility with that coaching staff. Yeah. Coach Edwards has done a great job ever since this game. We're like, hats off to Coach Edwards.
Hats off to Coach Edwards.
Like, my goodness. That's your take?
Yep.
That's my okay. So White, Steigerwald, and T-Sizzle.
Please stop.
Taking over the MIAA 1 week at a time. We're gonna wrap up here.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up here, but I want to make this a thing every week at the end of the episode. Which I think we're at 30 minutes right now, so like we're gonna be all over the place. This is our first one, and
TV kind of turned off, so we can't say time.
Yeah. I just want to give shout outs to some guys that really supported the podcast over this summer.
Yeah.
First one, I think the biggest one, he's gonna Grayson Tackett,
yeah.
Freshman quarterback coming over from Arkansas. Like that, dude. Thank you so much, bro. Like all the shares you given us, you give us. Like you said, we give you guys love and reciprocate.
Yeah.
And we support y'all as a team. We support y'all as fellow students, fellow Griffins. We love to see you guys succeed. And just for you guys to share our stuff and like get the fan base we have at this point.
Yeah.
Like it comes from that. It stems from that. Another one is, like I was talking about earlier, is Jonas Bennett. Like he had a big help in that as well. Just props to him. Just if you were a football player at the start when this account started and you in any way shared or promoted our stuff, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
We obviously we're having the time of our life. We're loving what we're doing right now, and we want to show this side of the student athletes so that they're not athletes out on the field playing football all the time. These are some real life people who are honestly might be living their dream playing football at a level like this.
A collegiate level.
And they're great student athletes. Obviously, Missouri Western has been some of the highest academic, had the highest academics in the MIAA. So I think we're going to give these students the exposure of not only being athletes but also being students. We're going to tell their stories, and we appreciate all of the support we've gotten. Again, Grayson Tech, and I'm going to say it too myself, thank you. He's been a big fan of this ever since we started the account.
Pretty much like day one.
Yeah, and he's been sharing our stuff, and not just retweeting, but retweeting with a comment. Like, those are different from retweets. We really like those.
And we get it. You want to promote your teammates, and that's what makes a good teammate is when you hype up your other teammates. And Grayson was redshirted this year. We'd love to see him get some playing time if it gets it pulled. But even keeping it when you know you're going to be on the red shirt, that is amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing. That's a great teammate.
And you could tell. And we tried hard to look at the film and see what we could and talk about what we could. And the amount of love we got from the team, and the gratitude we could see out of the players, like we could tell they really liked it, and we could tell that you guys were really happy with it. So again, we just want to thank you.
When I get messages from guys like Tack, Bennett, Caleb Peters asking if when they see me down at practice taking photos for the news press, or Shamar asked for some photos. When I get messages like that, it honestly makes my day, because I know that people are noticing. People are noticing our work. People notice that we care about them.
Yeah.
And we want to promote them.
And they appreciate it.
And it's just, I have it tattooed on my right pec. One love, man. One love.
But that'll be it for us here at the Western Windup.
Windup.
We've been talking for a little while. We appreciate you for listening to us.
Here we are, man.
We will. We're trying to get settled in with school, as I'm sure a lot of you are too.
First day.
So
Holy moly.
This is a little bit, a little more jumbled than we wanted it to be, but I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Thank you very much to everyone who supported us. Thank you to everyone who have just been there. I don't think we could be here. I don't think we'd be here if it wasn't for the support of our friends and family, the people in the community of Missouri Western, the people in the journalism department who have been really positive by trying to help us. And I want to extend my thanks to everyone because you guys have just been great. The football team has been absolutely amazing. Whenever we posted stuff about soccer, we've gotten a lot of likes and retweets from them too. Don't think it's just football. A lot of the sports we've been covering have been really appreciated by the players we've talked about. And so we really appreciate it from you guys. And we will continue to make this podcast continuously better every single week.
Hit us up at the Western Windup, or at Western Windup.
Yes. On
Twitter. For Barrett Howery, this is Derek Zimmerman-Guyer, signing off.
Thank you.